As I look out at this audience, I'm happy to see that there are, my gosh, hello, came from Florida. I'm happy to see so many young faces, and I'm excited about your future. I'm sure you're all very intelligent and have powerful opinions that deserve to be heard. As for me, I was born with opinions. And when I was 25 years old and making my first film, Funny Girl, I was very fortunate to work with the great director William Wyler and the brilliant cinematographer Harry Stradling, who were very open to my opinions. When you're dealing with people who are inherently gifted, they're not threatened by other people's ideas because they're secure in their own. We would talk about the work, actually. I had played the part more than 1,000 times, literally, in the theater. And every morning before a new scene, I would show Willie my folders filled with all the previous versions from the out-of-town tryouts to see if there was anything he might want to use. And Harry was pleased to talk to someone who wanted to know all about the different lenses and lighting and who appreciated his craft. I was lucky that these two amazing men were interested in my ideas. I mean, I was a novice, in film, and some they used, some they didn't. But a woman with opinions often gets into trouble. I guess some people on the set were confused, perhaps jealous, because they spoke to the gossip columnists who then twisted these lovely relationships into stories about how I was telling Willie and Harry what to do. That was ridiculous. Nothing could be further from the truth. We talked incessantly because we were all committed to making the film the best it could be. And by the time the shoot was over, we were dear friends, and both of these men were encouraging me to direct. Well, it took 14 years to make my first film as a director. The men who ran the studios were not really interested in a story about a 28-year-old Jewish spinster named Yentl who had to pretend to be a man in order to get an education. So I was turned down over and over again. And finally, I decided to turn the story into a musical because the only way I could get the movie financed was if I sang in it. And the same thing happened to me, actually, when I was 17 years old. I couldn't get a job as an actress, so I started to sing, and that was the beginning of my career. So nothing's easy, but nothing's impossible, which was, that became the tagline for my movie poster of Yentl. In other words, when one door closes, another one opens. So you just have to keep going until you find the right door. Directing was actually the easy part, and I discovered something. When you have power, it's very humbling, and you have a responsibility to use it with restraint. I tried to create an atmosphere on the set where everyone would feel empowered, free to have opinions. I think people do their best work when they feel respected and know that their voices are heard. But when the movie came out, I was attacked for doing multiple jobs, writing, producing, as well as directing. For me, that was easier. There were 3 less people I had to argue with, And I loved having all that responsibility because it went toward fulfilling my own vision. I was passionate about that project, and passion pushed me through. Ambition and authority are great qualities in a man, but not in a woman. I spoke about this in a speech I gave at Women in Film in 1992 when I talked about how language gives us an insight into the different ways men and women are perceived. So some of my friends are here, they know the speech probably, but a man is commanding while a woman is demanding. He's assertive, she's aggressive. He strategizes, but she manipulates. He shows leadership while she's called controlling. If a man wants to get it right, he's looked up to and respected. If a woman wants to get it right, she's difficult and egotistical. Now, 27 years later, I wonder how much has changed. I've been writing my autobiography for the last 4 years, and I've noticed that reliving my life, actually, early on, reporters often asked if I was controlling. And I'd say, kind of defensively, no, I'm not. But really, I am. I am. I was just embarrassed to say so, because I was criticized for exactly that when I produced a film called A Star is Born in 1976. And my partners in the company, it was called First Artists, were Paul Newman. You know that? Oh, very good. Oh my God, really? How interesting. Wow. It was great for the artists because Paul Newman and Sidney Poitier, according to the contract, each artist had total control of their projects, which was amazing. That was fine for the men, but not for me, according to the showbiz press, I was fed up with this double standard, so finally, when asked the same question in an interview I did in 1977, I said, yes, I do want control. I want to be responsible for everything I do in my life, whether it's good or bad. I especially want to control my work, whether it's designing a house or directing a movie. A male director, actually a male anything, wants to be in control of his projects. Nobody questions that. Why should it be any different for a woman? It shouldn't, is the point. On A Star is Born, I was really, given that responsibility for the budget and the finished project, the finished product, yeah. And the artist, by the way, was responsible for every penny over the budget, meaning it was a $6 million budget. If we went over, the artist had to pay it out of his pocket. But anyway, I gave away the title of producer and took a lesser credit because I didn't want to be attacked. And that was a mistake, but it was then. I often took my name off of scripts as well because I didn't want to be resented, when they saw my name or disliked. And for those omissions, the only person I can blame is myself. We need to stop apologizing for ourselves and our opinions. So trust your instincts, find your passion, and then respect it. And also respect the truth. The truth is so powerful. I rely on it every day in my life and in my work. Here's another truth. In 1916, there were 12 women directing films in Hollywood. Fast forward 100 years later, there were only 4 women out of the top grossing movies, 100 top grossing movies. We have a long way to go in this business. I know you're the business school, but maybe some of you are film students too. But I think this relates to business as well. There were even fewer female directors in 2018 than in 2017. That said, we are seeing change across various fields. The Me Too movement and the many courageous women behind it, helped to bring down 200 prominent men whose predatory behavior went ignored for too long. Time's up for that kind of conduct. But there have been unintended consequences. Some male executives now say they are afraid to hire women. They're spooked by the shifting environment, afraid to be alone with female colleagues, reluctant to mentor qualified young women. It's clear that women can be threatening to men on several levels. If she's too smart, she challenges his brain. If she's too attractive, it challenges his libido. Business and personal relationships are complicated. And new conversations must occur between men and women. For a start, we should see ourselves equally powerful, as equally powerful. Men must talk to women as peers. And things are beginning to change in politics as well. In 1987, there were only 25 women in the Senate and the House, and today there are over 100. During the midterms, my friend Nancy Pelosi was demonized, but as she has shown, you don't give up. It's what you do with your voice and your opinions that matters. I'm gratified that more and more women are rooting for each other's success these days, thinking of themselves as part of a sisterhood and recognizing our common goals. We're much more powerful when we stick together and support each other. The world needs more women in positions of power. Women are nurturers, and just by our physiology, we come from the heart, and our instinct for love and compassion is something that this chaotic world needs now more than ever. Women have a unique vision of our future, and we need it not just in business, but also for the sake of the planet and our health. My last point, I'm very excited and I'm very involved about the fight against women's heart disease. I have a center at Cedars-Sinai and one here at UCLA where we're committed to gender equality in the treatment and research of heart disease, which kills more women than all cancers combined. For the last 50 years, most research was conducted on men, male patients, male mice, male monkeys, male cells. It's kind of outrageous that women are still discriminated against, even in medical research. So where do we go from here? The hill is steeper for us than it is for men. It's even steeper for women of color. The challenges are real, and so are the barriers. We can't control the external obstacles, but we can control our own achievements and preserve our own dignity. So don't wait decades to believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to use your voice and ask for what you want and question those who say no. Be bold. Don't be afraid to express your opinions, and don't be afraid of being afraid, because it's natural. I often experience it myself. But always keep your mind open. Be generous of heart and spirit, and don't apologize for any of it. So, good luck, have fun, and thank you for this wonderful award.